The number one difficulty that I find as trying to get it started, and this has been from the beginning on, is to help the pastor or the leader see the importance of it. Some reason in our movement, we focus on children and then young teens, youth camp, but when they reach, like they graduate from high school, there's a major gap. In fact, our National Youth Department in the U.S. has called it hyphen now, because it's kind of like this gap in between adulthood and high school. And it's sad to say that we're missing a very powerful opportunity, because around the world, the stats tell us that 80% of those being converted to evangelical Christianity are between the age of 16 to 24. And the age is actually declining a little bit down, or lowering down to 16, 15, used to be about 18. And I think that's a result of families being looser and just not taking care of their own young people. The kids are kind of loose and at an earlier and earlier age, and because both parents are working and they just turn them loose. It's sad, but we need to take advantage of that and help young people instead of just throwing them out to the devil. And then, beyond that age, they usually, they're looking to get married, they found their career, they're really involved in their career and trying to get that established, their family established, and they don't have time for God. They're focused on other things. And so that age in between is an extremely important age. And we're finding that that's where the majority of our converts are coming in. And all around the world, among evangelicals, that's the case, about 80%. And I've done a few kind of personal surveys myself in a lot of our fellowships, and it really fits into that. Who hasn't come through Sunday school, if they're being converted. So we've got to focus on that age. It's the most productive. And not to ignore the other ages. I mean, twice in my ministry, we baptized 94-year-olds, and both came out of the water speaking in tongues. But that's not the norm, We've got to focus on that age group and not lose our own, and not let them get beyond that age. I was in Scotland, and a young man that age, college age, he was a college student, came in, got the Holy Ghost. It was a miraculous happening, how he came. But I was kind of interviewing him like you're doing to me today, and asking him, well, now what was going on in your heart? How did you really come to grips to looking for God? And he came looking. And in the middle of him telling me his experience, he told me how that at the age of 18, in college, laying on his bed in the dorm, he just cried out to God and said, God, if you're real, I want to know. I want to know you. And then he stopped and he looked at me and he said, I think every young person along about that time in life comes to grips with that question and asks it. And I thought, wow, we've got to be there to answer. Help them find God. And we're finding that's the case. And we can't let the opportunity pass us by.